We've been foolish multiple times in the past 78 years in trusting Pakistan. Pakistan's entire foreign policy, its entire national security policy revolves around Kashmir. This is something that they cannot do without. It's their majburi, if you will. It's their majburi. And they will do it again. They will do it again. But, one thing that I'd like to tell you is that, this has been made plain by the Prime Minister and also the Raksha Mantri. And both of them, when you say ceasefire, what does it mean? It means stop firing. So in that context, is there a ceasefire? Yes, probably. But Operation Sindoor has not ended. You talk to anybody who holds any position of power, any position of authority, and they will tell you that this is an ongoing operation. There could be a strategic pause for right now, but India will hit back. India will hit back soon. We are just waiting. Like the Honorable Defense Minister said, Pakistan is on probation. They've been put on probation. And जब ऐसा होगा कि पाकिस्तान कुछ गलती करेगा, फिर से पाकिस्तान को सजा मिलेगी, punitive, disproportionate, visible.
But let me ask you, Sushant Sareen, then why ceasefire when we had the upper hand? Many people ask that question, कि अभी you had advantage India. Why ceasefire when your neighbor is not trusted and when he is backed by forces in the world that will always increase its adventurism?
I think, Navika, it's very clear that I don't think anybody in the government of India was interested in an endless war. We don't want to get into an endless war because we have bigger fish to fry. We have many more things to do. We are not a basket case country like Pakistan, which doesn't bother about its own people, which only bothers about its armed forces and the privileges of the Punjabi elite to the detriment and to the exclusion of everybody else in Pakistan, or some other elites from, Sindh or KP or other places. So we are not in that game. The objective of Operation Sindoor was a limited one. The limited one was a punitive campaign against terror targets to deliver a very, very strong message. And I think nobody can deny that an extremely strong message has been delivered. You've hit at bases which everybody salivated over in the Indian security establishment for decades. You've gone and destroyed them in Muridke, in Bahawalpur, in Kotli, in Muzaffarabad, all these places which were supposed to be untouchable. So I think that's a remarkable achievement. And after that, when the Pakistanis went up the escalation ladder, that second objective was to have escalation dominance, which is again what the Indian armed forces established, and forced Pakistan to sue for peace. Now the Pakistanis can keep making whatever cock and bull story they want to make, but the bottom line is that 11 of their bases, and by some accounts 13, ranging from Skardu in the north to Karachi in the south, have been hit. And these guys they are shameless, but they have nowhere to hide. So they will try and deflect what has happened to them, but they will not come and accept the kind of beating they have been given. One more point, Navika. When you keep asking, and I think in international relations, this whole question, can I trust somebody? You can't trust anybody. The only thing you can trust is your own power, which you can bring to bear on whether somebody is trying to act smart with you or not. What is your national power? What is your economic power? What is your military power? How much of it can you bring to bear on your adversaries? That's the only thing which you should trust.
Well, then Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, then I want to ask you, putting them on probation, is that the wisest call that could have been taken, given the fact from an advantage position, now whenever the next provocation comes, we will start from scale 0 and then work upwards? And how long do you think this is going to stay in this ceasefire condition?
There are two things. One is very clear that we cannot take Pakistan on the face value because there is no face. The face is explicitly clear. That is a perpetual perpetrator of terror. Only the mask value is there. Masks keep on changing. The face remains same. So that is very clearly and categorically understood by India. But if you see, those who were giving us the Gidar Bhabki of nuclear threat, now they are talking about Aman ki baat. इसका मतलब चमन कुछ तो उजड़ा है तभी अमन की बात तक बात आई है. But what has happened, I think those who are sitting inside those operations will be having better access to what situation has happened. I just want to put certain dots which your viewers can connect. Number one, JD Vance on 9th says about the India-Pakistan conflict, this is none of our business. On 10th night, there is a furious attack on various air bases of Pakistan. On 10th, around 1 p.m., Pakistan's DGMO tries to contact India. On 3:35, both the DGMOs talk. Or at 4 p.m., Government of India announces that there is going to be a press conference at 5. And at 4:35 or 4:40, Donald Trump gives a tweet. And then there mentions a nuclear threat, that he has averted a nuclear conflict. So now, just if it is believed that Sargodha has been hit, and those who are, your viewers, I just want to say, nuclear weapons are not like it's been placed in the room like the shop. It is being placed 30, 40 feet at least, or several meters below the ground. And that has only 2 entry and exit points. If the entry and exit point are being hit, as there are certain news in the international media, so there is a strong possibility that something of disaster could have happened inside whenever those openings will be out. And in that case, you should also try to understand how far is Sargodha from the Indian border? 170 kilometers. Less than how far is Mathura from Delhi? So if anything of the sort of nuclear disaster or the atomic disaster happens, it's not that much easy that it will follow the international boundary, that it will come only up to that level and not go that. There can be a chance. And one more thing, since the US forces remained there around 2 decades back, so they might be knowing each and every location, that where the warhead is there and where the fuse is there. No, they might have personally, physically verified, and their satellites are definitely having much more capability than the Chinese satellites. So they might have confirmed it, or they might have assumed it, they might have something got the impression. And in this context, I would like to say that the day before yesterday, when the press conference of the State Department of US, it was asked that has US planes have gone there for the search, for verifying the radiation level on the nuclear site? What was their answer? They could have said no, nothing of this sort. What was his answer? I am not give to any answer on the preview of this situation. So it means they have neither said yes nor said no. So those who are having an in-depth understanding of the war, and that's why the Prime Minister has said the Operation Sindoor is not stopped. There is no word ceasefire used by India. It is operational break. जैसे आप लोग कमर्शियल ब्रेक लेते हैं, मिलते हैं ब्रेक के बाद, तो ऑपरेशनल ब्रेक के बाद जब सामना होगा, तो इसलिए जो एक प्रोबेशन की बात कही गई है वो उनके लिए कही गई है। और इसलिए आज रक्षा मंत्री जी ने इस फ्रेज को यूज भी किया है पाकिस्तान की आर्मी के लिए, क्योंकि वो जिस मुहाने पे बैठ के जो गेम खेल रहे हैं, तो उन्होंने कहा है कि कागज का है लिबास चिरागों का शहर है, कागज का है लिबास चिरागों का शहर है, चलना संभल संभल के चूंकि तुम नशे में हो।
बिल्कुल नशे में है और कागज को कभी भी आग लग सकती है। बट अभिजीत अय्यर मित्रा, द फैक्ट दैट वीव हिट, डॉक्टर सुधांशु त्रिवेदी इज कोटिंग रिपोर्ट्स, बट वी हैव इट फ्रॉम very top sources that somewhere close to the entrance and exit we have hit them as far as their nuclear storage facilities are concerned. At the Noor Khan base, their command center.
In your program has also expressed the thing.
Absolutely. John Spencer and Tom Cooper have both said that. So Abhijit Iyer Mitra, this probation is really a pause. Clearly we are expecting, we are not lowering our guards. And how long are we going to continue in this situation of being in total preparedness, calling for some aman? Pakistan is calling for aman, and we are obliging them, because war clearly cannot be an objective for any country that has a desire to become the third largest economy in the world. But do you think this is going to be a long probation, or what's your bet on?
I don't think the word probation really describes this, because you're essentially dealing with a unreformable character. This is, like the Joker or the Penguin in Batman that believes in that needs to be in the asylum for the criminally insane and the uncurable, essentially. So, rather than this probation and all of that, I think this is more the grave biblical sin of coitus interruptus. But let's talk about the main thing out here. How long are we going to be? Why does it matter? We can be in this indefinitely. It does not cost us much to be in this state of readiness. It is something we can afford today very, very easily. Our reserves are something like $850 billion. Pakistan, on the other hand, remember, now take this as a not forward Operation Parakram. Take this as a different kind of Operation Parakram. In those days when we weren't so rich, in those days when Pakistan had the full support of America, we were still able to sustain it for a whole year or more. This time you can sustain it indefinitely. Pakistan cannot sustain it. They are not playing, the pyromaniac turned fire brigade in Afghanistan. They are not getting any help from the Americans or anybody. Their reserves are dwindling. Their money, to like Sushant Sareen said, yaar jaake road mein bheek mang rahe hain. What do they have left right now? This is a very nice game to play. Grind them down, grind them down, grind them down. It is a lovely way of, destroying their reserves, seeing to it nobody does business with them, constant uncertainty about their airspace. You never know when it's going to boil up. And mark my words, I told you this on the 10th when the ceasefire was announced, sitting on the opposite side, Navika. At that time, I said it was most probable that Asim Munir is going to break the ceasefire. Today, because the narrative has turned so decisively against Pakistan, I guarantee you that man is going to break the ceasefire. This is how they function. It is their old playbook. When you don't talk, they generate a terror attack, so there's a crisis and somebody forces you onto the table and they go back to their population and say, see, we brought India to the negotiating table, dusra Sikandar, dusra Julius Caesar, or whatever, dusra Napoleon, teesra Napoleon, whatever. When the talks go well, they will engineer an attack to stop the talks. They haven't changed their playbook. This is now sounding like a broken record. The thing is, that side is still playing a broken record. This side has long since moved on. Modi learns his lessons very well. He tried very hard in his first term. You remember in 2014, he invited Nawaz Sharif to his swearing in. He went for Nawaz Sharif's ka khandani shadi and all of that. When the attacks happened after Uri and things, all that contact stopped. After Pulwama, Balakot happened. This time, 21 times Balakot happened. Well, much more than 21 times Balakot following that. Next time, देखो और क्या होता है.
आगे आगे देखिए होता है क्या. Well, Anand Ranganathan, and that's my problem. You may give Pakistan yet another opportunity. You may withdraw. You may just call it a temporary reprieve. But the fact is, who's running Pakistan is not known. It is Asim Munir one day, the DG of ISI one day. It can be, certainly not the political leadership, because the most popular leader, Imran Khan, is in jail. Shahbaz Sharif, जिनके पैर कांपते हैं और जिनके पूरी कैबिनेट के पैर कांपते हैं, वो खड़े हैं और वो कह रहे हैं अमन चाहिए. कल टैंक पे खड़े हुए थे, घास उग रही थी टैंक के ऊपर, because they have to imitate whatever India does. So such a bad copy of the Prime Minister's visit to all those air bases. I want to ask you, who's going to take the call? Asim Munir has his nose bloodied, completely dragged through the mud. He's going to hit back. I want to ask you, this new doctrine, the Operation Sindoor doctrine that we are talking about, will it come? At what level is the question?
Thank you very much, Navika. पहले तो आपसे एक मैं थोड़ा सा वो करूं, I have a grouse to mention. कांग्रेस है, समाजवादी पार्टी, मतलब आपने क्या या AIMIM का समझ के मुझे यहाँ पर इनके साथ बिठा दिया. कोई बात नहीं, कोई बात नहीं, मतलब मैं तो वही कह रहा हूँ, भारतीय. लेकिन मतलब ओवैसी जी के आजकल काफ़ी गुण गाए जा रहे, तो हो सकता है आपने समझ लिया हो कि मैं वहाँ. बट देखिए, साइड कोई भी हो, लेकिन सब देश के साइड में, इसीलिए मैं यहाँ बैठा हूँ आपके साथ. दो चीज़ें मैं कहना चाहूँगा. आपने स्टार्ट किया ये पूछ के कि शुड वी टेक पाकिस्तान एट इट्स फेस वैल्यू, and I say absolutely yes. what is Pakistan's face? Pakistan's face right now is a funeral of a terrorist is going on. Some mullah is, a terrorist is reciting prayers, and in the backdrop you see 10 high-ranking Pakistani military generals. That is the face of Pakistan. There is no difference between state and non-state actors anymore. And Prime Minister Modi has said this in no unequivocal terms. So Gaurav is absolutely right, Gaurav Arya is absolutely right. They are going to come back at us. They're going to hit us, they might. But as far as your question is concerned, who is going to decide when, where to hit? It's no distinction at all between state and non-state. So it could be a terror outfit out there that will decide. It could be Munir. It could be the Prime Minister. There is absolutely no distinction. The thing that we need to not worry about, but be prepared about, is that are we ready? And 100% yes. And I might say, because of the 3 leashes that have sprung up after, in the wake of Operation Sindoor, I think we are more than prepared. And these leashes are, of course, our attack and defense capabilities that have more than being tested spectacularly. The second is the new doctrine, as you said, post-Operation Sindoor doctrine, that an act of terror is going to be equated with an act of war. But the most important, and I've been saying this since 2 days ago, I've written an article on this, is the Indus Waters Treaty. The fact that we have a tap to decide peace or war is, I would again reiterate, Prime Minister Modi's greatest achievement. And the fact that, because I read it in order to redraft it, I am just astonished as to what we have given away in the last 60 years. The heart bleeds. It's not just that, we gave away so much in 1948, we clamored to the UN for a ceasefire. It's not just that in 1965 we gave away, in 1971 we gave away 93,000 prisoners of war. It's not just that in the wake of our Pokhran blast, and I've just tweeted that, Prime Minister Indira Gandhi contacted Mr. Bhutto and said we are willing to share our nuclear technology. These are the things that we've given away, God knows for what reasons, virtue signaling or trying to, take the higher moral stand, whatever it may be. Fact is, Pakistan has exploited us. Now, no more, absolutely no more.
Absolutely, and the bleeding heart. I'm coming to you, but let me just play out the bottom line that was set up by the Prime Minister. No business as usual after India has struck inside Pakistan after Operation Sindoor. The theatre of war is no longer just the LOC. India will strike at a place and time of